When it comes to the holidays, there's been a long-standing tradition in my family, and that is Christmas Eve, we are having beef tenderloin. Now for years, we roasted it in the oven and seared it in the pan in the kitchen, but today I'm gonna show you exactly how to season it, how to sear it, and how to smoke it to perfection. Now let's get started. Now today I have a beautiful 2-pound grass-fed beef tenderloin from certified Piedmontese. This thing comes perfectly trimmed, center cut, and ready to rock and roll. When you get these, they require very little work. You just have to throw it in the refrigerator a few days ahead of time to thaw them out. But let me tell you what, that is one beautiful piece of beef. And that grass-fed beef from certified Piedmontese is extremely flavorful. And that's why me and my family are having their beef this holiday season. Now, when it comes to seasoning a beef tenderloin, most people like to keep it real simple, and we're gonna do the same. And what I like to do is start out by pat drying it with some paper towel. We want to remove any excess moisture or purge that you got from the packaging. Just a quick dab of a paper towel, and the surface is nice and dry. Now we're using olive oil as a binder because that's gonna help the rub stick, and it's also gonna help a little bit with the searing process itself. So just take a little bit in your glove or in your hand and just wipe that on until you got a nice little shine. You're not gonna need a lot, but just enough. And now that we've got a nice shine on it, today we're gonna be using my Bearded Butcher's Brock Lesnar seasoning. Now typically when it comes to beef or steaks or something like this, certified Piedmontese tenderloin, I would be using salt, pepper, and garlic and doing my own custom blend of that to our taste profile. But what I've found as of recently is this Bearded Butcher's Brock Lesnar seasoning is one of my favorite seasonings to go on steaks and beef and tri-tips and things like that. So we're gonna be using it today with this tenderloin. There is a link in the description for this if you're looking for it for yourself. Now, this is a pretty thick piece of meat, so we're gonna put a nice little coating on there, but we're not gonna get too crazy. And don't be afraid to get a little bit of it on the board itself, because what we'll do is then we'll start dabbing this tenderloin into the seasoning there. We're gonna season all sides. And we'll use our glove to help get that seasoning to stick as well. And don't forget the ends, because those pieces are nice too. And just take that and roll that around your cutting board. Pick up any of that loose seasoning that you've got there. And just like that, our beef tenderloin is seasoned. I know, simple, right? Well, it's all about cooking it to perfection. So now we're gonna get over to our Camp Chef and I'm gonna show you the next steps. So today we're gonna get our griddle seasoned up with some of the South Chicago Packing Wagyu beef tallow. I like to use this on the griddle because it makes for an awesome mouthfeel and it is a great addition to your griddle to help sear your meat. I use this all the time when I'm searing steaks and burgers, and I'm gonna do the same with this grass-fed beef tenderloin. We're gonna let this thing get up to temperature, get it nice and hot so that we can do a quick flash in the pan sear on this tenderloin. All right, now I don't know about you guys, but that there is a beautiful beef tenderloin. The griddle is nice and hot. We've got it wet with that Wagyu beef tallow. Listen to that sizzle. Now the reason we're searing it first on the griddle is because this is grass-fed beef, this is a tenderloin, this is a delicate piece of meat to cook, and the last thing that you wanna do is overcook it. So by searing it first, that gives us a little flexibility when we put it on the smoker. We're gonna get a nice little crust on all sides and ends of this tenderloin, and then we're gonna get it onto the Woodwind Pro, which we're running with some hickory pellets and some hickory hardwood in that smoke box. Now, I don't know about you, but that is a beautiful seared beef tenderloin. It's time to get this onto the Camp Chef Woodwind Pro. Now we've got this on the Camp Chef Woodwind Pro. We're running at 225 degrees. We've got this thing loaded up with some hickory pellets and some hickory hardwood in that smoke box. Now we are going to just let it go in here at 225 until we reach an internal temperature of about 125 to 128. This is a delicate piece of meat. This is grass-fed. It'll cook quick and it'll carry through too far if we're not careful. So that 125 to 128 point is exactly where we want to be. We'll check in periodically. We do have one more surprise for you throughout the cook, so be sure to stick around and I'll show you that here soon. All right, this beef tenderloin is about 128 degrees internal temperature. It is time to yank it off this Camp Chef Woodwind Pro. We've been basting it with butter, rosemary, and garlic, and let me tell you what, that thing Looks incredible. Let's get this over to the cutting board. We're gonna let it rest for about 10 minutes and we're gonna slice into it. We've let this rest for about 10 to 15 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and pull the foil off that we tented up over the top and around it and see how this turned out. All right, it is time to slice into the certified Piedmontese grass-fed beef tenderloin. Now, we used olive oil as a binder. Then we applied our Bearded Butcher's Brock Lesnar seasoning, which is one of my favorite beef seasonings right now. We then seared it on the Camp Chef Sidekick along with some Wagyu beef tallow. Then we smoked it on that Camp Chef Woodwind Pro, hitting it hard with some hickory smoke. We also basted it with some butter, some rosemary, and garlic throughout the cook. And I'm gonna tell you what, I'm super excited to give this tenderloin a try. Now, if you're looking for holiday recipes, I bet you this is one that's gonna be on your list. Now let's find out how we did. Got my 12-inch slicing knife here. Oh, look at that pink perfection there. Wall-to-wall pink. That is absolutely beautiful. Now that we know it looks good, we're gonna have to taste it and see exactly how good it is. Now, we cooked this medium rare. We cooked it at 225 degrees and we smoked it until we reached an internal temperature of about 128 degrees. Because this is grass-fed beef, it is lean. It's also a tenderloin, which is also lean to begin with. You don't wanna push this too far. Now, all of that work that we've done in this beautiful tenderloin means nothing until we give it a try. There are no words to describe the mouthfeel and how soft that tenderloin truly is. I honestly think I could chew it with my lips if I wanted to. That is so tender, and it's so incredibly moist as well. Slow cooking it on that Camp Chef after searing it on the Sidekick helps preserve that and make sure that you don't overcook it. And man, oh man, is that delicious. Hands down, that certified Piedmontese tenderloin, it's got to be one of the best pieces of beef I've ever had. It's got a nice earthy, beefy taste. Then pair that along with that buttery mouthfeel from basting that. It's got a great crust on the outside and an incredible flavor from that seasoning and from that butter base that we were doing. Now, I'm gonna tell you, if you're looking to do a beef tenderloin, not only should you check out certified Piedmontese, you should also follow this recipe and what I did here on this Camp Chef. Now remember, it doesn't matter what grill you've got. It doesn't matter if you have a Sidekick or not. You can replicate this on any grill or smoker that you've got. Just follow the instructions and adapt it to what you have available. And you could also make an incredible beef tenderloin like this. And if you want more recipes just as good as that, if not even better, then I'd suggest you check out this one right here.